time this morning to go back and reread everything that I've written so far this month, and I don't know, when I finished writing it all, I came away from it very much in, feeling like, okay, this is fine. I finished it, but I'm going to have to go back and redo some of it. Some of it isn't quite what I wanted it to be. And then I sat down and I read it this morning, and no, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with it. I finished one very, very long, ongoing scene. A very pivotal one for the story. And it didn't turn out what I pictured it to be. When I started writing it, I imagined it going very differently than it actually ended up going. All of the same elements are there, but the tone turned out very different. And there was a few added things. Some things happened, under different circumstances than I was expecting. It has all the key ingredients that I intended to put in it, but some of them manifested differently than I was expecting them to. And I'm really actually pleased. I finished, especially what I was writing last night, I finished up and thought, okay, well, I don't like it, but got the words done. Technically, that's progress. And I read it again this morning, and I'm pleased. I'm satisfied. I am pleasantly surprised how much better it actually is on the page than it was in my memory of writing it. So, I'm not 100% sure what actually my number is right now. I think I got almost to 9,000. Let me double check. Alright, so I did 3,600 words yesterday, which is not good, but it's not bad. It is bad. It's bad for sitting down and doing 3 different writing sessions. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to try to get to 12,000 today. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I write in a program called Focuswriter. It is intended to be kind of like a very minimalist writing experience, but it does have a bunch of fun little tools in it. And you can set a goal, a daily goal, of just every day I want to do this many words. But you can also change it whenever the hell you want. So I'm going to go ahead and, first of all, I haven't changed it in a very long time, so I'm going to figure out how to do that. So I'm going to go for an initial goal of 3,381 words for today. And I have it set, in Focuswriter, you can have it set up so that it remembers. It keeps a running log of everything. And I think mine goes so far back, and which sucks because I started using the program in 2013, and I don't have the first 3 years of data. And I don't know if that's because I got rid of it, which might be true, or because I switched computers. I had a computer die. I want to say probably early 2016 or something like that. So I think that's how I lost the data, but who knows. But I have a running log of every day I've written since 2016 saved into this program. And it's not fully accurate because sometimes I don't write in this program, but it's fun to have. I'm going to find where I was. Shouldn't need to reread anything today because I just did that this morning, like I said. So I do want to go ahead and reread some of my outline for the rest of the chapter, the next few scenes. It's just the reason I'm going so slowly is that we are in a big turning point of the story. And there's some very sticky emotional stuff that's happening in this chapter, and especially these two, maybe 3 early scenes in the chapter. And one was such a pivotal scene that it just went on fully. It's like a 6,000 word scene, which is not even a scene at that point. That's a chapter. But and I'm fundamentally long-winded, not the point, but there's just so much happening that I just sit down and I go, well, this is going to be very difficult, very complex, lots of fictional people having lots of fictional emotions. I'm gonna fuck it up. How about I just don't do it? I'll just do it in the future when I'm equipped to do it. And I'll never be equipped to do it. The future will never come. I have to just sit down and do it now. And as I'm doing it, I'm going, yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. And the second I finish, I go, that was trash. That was absolute trash. Throw all of that away. And then I'll go back and I'll reread it like a day, a week, a month later and go, oh, that was good. That was fine. You're okay. You'll live. Oh, it's a mess. Just a mess and a half. So, let us... I probably am not going to actually sit here and do an entire 3,300 words. But I would like to at least do 1,000. So I'm going to get myself a drink. At some point I'm going to have to stop and get some food, but for now, let's see where I'm at, what I need to write, etc., etc. And as usual, I am still sick, still coughing. That will likely continue for a long time yet. I cannot get rid of whatever the fuck I caught. It is not COVID, but it is sticking around. The other problem that I'm having is that there's too much in this chapter. There's just too much happening here, and I in the outline of all of the scenes going into this story, I have sectioned them all off into chapters, not strictly thematically, but in like clusters of all of these scenes are around the same. They circle the same idea. They pivot around the same emotional beats, and so we're sticking them together. But there is just so much in this one, and the problem that I'm having is that I can take things out and move them elsewhere, but the context would have to be entirely changed, because I want the chapter to begin with a scene of emotional distancing from a group of characters, and then there's a selection of scenes that I want to happen while those characters are distant from each other, and then the chapter ends with the characters coming back together, but there's just so much stuff that I want to cram into there that I don't think I can cram it all in, because again, that first scene was 6,000 fucking words. So, I am in a struggle. And like, even as I go through this, I realize, oh shit, there's actually a few more things that I want to put into it, and no, I need to take things out instead, and I just... there's restructuring that needs to be done that I'm just like... I'm really struggling with. I think I might actually have to get out a piece of paper and go through the shit in this scene, in this chapter, to see what can be extracted and moved elsewhere. I already took one thing out of this chapter and put it into the next one, which does fuck a bit with the next chapter's flow. But let me just look at the entire rest of this damn thing, because we're coming upon the climax in the very near future. Yeah, see, I have 2 chapters left before the onset of the climax and like the end game of the story. There's 5 chapters left. The one I'm working on, which is like a big turning point, pointing us in the direction of the conclusion. Then the next one, which is meant to tie up all of the various loose ends. And then the next one after that, which is meant to feed us into the climactic chapter. And then the final chapter is just denouement, is just wrapping everything up. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through the scenes in this chapter and see what can be extracted with some slightly changed context and put into the next story, the next chapter, the collection of scenes that are just wrapping up loose ends, preparing for the end game. Because I truly don't think I can cut this in half. So this is chapter 11. Goal of chapter 11 is to finish this emotional pivot point of the story. There's been a big reveal. We're dealing with fallout. We're dealing with all of the emotions that come from the big reveal that we've been waiting for since the onset of the very first book. So our first scene was the confrontation. One character realizes that she has been lied to. A secret has been kept. Okay, and so then the goal of the next scene is to incorporate the emotional state of the other characters. To see where they're at, now that we know where the protagonist is at. Now, that's an interesting thought. Okay, I might be able to pull that off. Well, it depends on how long this next bit runs. Because if pulling in the emotional reality of all of the other characters also comes out to like another 4,000 words, which I don't think it will, but it could, then that is suitable. We can just split this entire thing in half. Because, like I said, what I wanted to do with it was that I wanted to have it structured so that the confrontation that sets up the break in the friend group happens at the beginning, and the coming back together of the friend group happens at the end of the chapter. It's a whole behemoth, but we'll be okay. But if instead the chapter deals with the confrontation, the dealing with the emotional reality of the other characters, that like the protagonist, the first scene is the protagonist's reaction to the reveal. The second scene is the emotional reality of the secondary characters and their reaction to the reveal or the lack of the reveal, because I expect the character to try to keep it a secret. And then the third scene being a very pivotal moment of establishing what seems like it's going to be a new normal. And so this chapter would end with, here's the new normal, and then the next chapter would be the one that we live in the new normal for a little while, and then at the end we pull everything back together. There's a reconciliation, and we go on from there, tie up all our loose ends in the chapter after that, and then in the chapter after that we move into the climax. I think that works. So, I need to do a little bit of restructuring to my outline. I'm going to do a cut right here. Chapter 11 is going to be split. We're going to do a new chapter 12. There's 2 scenes that I want to add into here. So let me see how I do that. Oh. And I think I might have just pieced something else together. But if I go for that, there's an opportunity I could take, but if I take it, I will also have to change, I will have to slightly tweak something in the future. Which, now I'm a little upset that I didn't think of that sooner, because it would have changed a couple of things that I wanted to do. Some of the nuance of something I did previously. But I think I can use that. Okay, so So I think that works out really well. I shouldn't have to move anything else in the chapter, I don't think. Nothing that just got bumped into the newly created chapter should have to get moved, and I can actually probably... I'll deal with that later. I'm not going to be writing that chapter for a while yet, so that is a problem for some other tomorrow. At the moment, I am 21% done with my daily goal. Thus is the luxury of writing everything in one large draft. So as my outline changes, so does my word count. If I add something to my outline, word count goes up. Take something out of my word count. Take something out of my outline, word count goes down. It's not the best system, but it is mine. So... Alright, I am 60% done with today's call, and I'm gonna stop for now. I've been going for an hour, almost an hour and a half, so all done for a little while, and I will come back and do some more in a bit. So, I'll be back soon. You can see me then.